Deep space was quiet. Too quiet. No stars shone nearby, and the endless darkness seemed alive. In the void, a massive alien fleet moved like a shadow through the emptiness. The ships were enormous, black as night, with glowing green energy running along their hulls. Each ship was armed with weapons that could destroy planets. The fleet moved slowly, but their presence was terrifying. Even from a distance they radiated power. In the midst of this fearsome fleet, a tiny human ship floated like a fragile leaf in a storm. Its hull was scratched and battered. Smoke leaked from cracks in the metal. The engines had sputtered earlier and barely held together. Inside, the human crew worked frantically. Sparks flew as they repaired the damaged systems. Every beep of the control panel sounded urgent. Every flash of warning lights made their hearts race faster. Commander Jalen, a man in his early 40s with tired eyes and a firm jaw, moved through the narrow corridors of the ship. "We need more time," he shouted over the noise of alarms and groaning metal. "If we don't fix the engines soon, we won't make it out of here." The crew, a mix of young and older humans, moved like a well-practiced team, even under pressure. There was Lyra, a young pilot barely in her 20s, whose hands flew over the controls with precision. Then there was Derek, the engineer, hunched over the engines, muttering to himself as he twisted wires and tightened bolts. And then the oldest, Captain Aaron, who had seen more battles than anyone else. He stood near the navigation console, eyes scanning the screens, calculating the odds of survival. Humans were known across the galaxy as weak. The alien races believed them slow, fragile, and incapable of real strategy. The human fleet had never been a threat. But this little ship, this tiny, seemingly insignificant craft, was about to prove otherwise. Suddenly, a sharp alarm blared. The human radar screen lit up with a bright red warning. Alien ships were converging on their location. Hundreds of meters away, the fleet's advanced scouts moved in like predators circling their prey. The humans' hearts raced. Their ship was tiny compared to the massive alien vessels. If they were caught, there would be no mercy. The thought of destruction pressed down on them like a heavy weight. Lyra gritted her teeth and pressed the throttle. Engines at maximum. "Hold together, old girl," she muttered to the ship. Sparks flew from the damaged panels and the metal creaked. Derek cursed under his breath. "We might make it, but one wrong move." He didn't finish the sentence because the warning lights were growing brighter by the second. Jalen looked at the radar, panic hidden behind a mask of calm. "They found us. The main fleet is moving in. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. We can't fight them head-on." He knew the odds. Their weapons were primitive. Their shields could not withstand more than a single laser blast. This was not a battle humans were supposed to win. As the alien ships closed in, a strange thing happened. A faint signal appeared on the human radar, a signal unlike anything they had seen before. It pulsed with a soft blue light, cutting through the red of incoming danger. It was small, weak, almost imperceptible, but it was there. Lyra leaned closer, eyes wide. "Commander, do you see this?" "It's something." Jalen nodded slowly. He felt a spark of hope he hadn't felt in years. Unknown signal. Could be an old human probe, or something else. Whatever it is, it might be our only chance. The human crew paused, tension thick in the air. They were surrounded by danger, vastly outnumbered and completely outgunned. Yet this tiny signal offered a thread of hope, a chance to survive against impossible odds. The alien fleet's massive ships loomed closer, shadows stretching across the human radar like the hands of death itself. Energy weapons began to charge, green beams of light glowing at the edges of each ship. The human ship shook as if the void itself was warning them to surrender. But no one on board thought of giving up. Captain Aaron's voice cut through the fear. "Humans are not weak," he said firmly, almost as if speaking to the void itself. "We adapt. We fight. We survive. Prepare for the impossible." Derek tightened the last bolts on the engine. Lyra gripped the controls, ready to push the ship to its limits. Jalen stood at the bridge, staring at the approaching fleet and the mysterious blue signal. Something was coming. Something they didn't understand. And yet, it could be the key to survival. In the silence of deep space, with the alien fleet closing in and death looming near, humans faced their first choice: surrender or fight. They had nothing but courage, ingenuity, and a spark of hope. And sometimes hope, even in the face of impossible odds, is stronger than any weapon. The signal pulsed again. Stronger this time. And the human ship, small and battered, seemed to shiver as if it knew it was about to do something no one thought possible. The galaxy had called humans weak. But in these moments, in the silent darkness of deep space, Something was about to change everything. The tiny human ship floated in the darkness, its engines groaning under pressure. The alien fleet was closing in, their enormous forms growing larger on the radar every second. Commander Jalen gripped the edge of the bridge console, his knuckles white. Every human on the ship could feel the tension pressing down, like invisible fingers squeezing their hearts. "Engage evasive maneuvers," Jalen ordered. His voice was calm, but inside, a storm of fear and determination raged. "We move through the asteroid field. It's our only chance." Lyra's hands flew over the controls. The ship shuddered violently as the engines roared to life. "Entering the field in 3, 2, 1, she said. Her voice was steady, betraying nothing of the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Outside, massive asteroids floated silently, drifting like sleeping giants in the void. Some were small, mere rocks that could scratch the ship, but others were enormous, bigger than human cities. The humans' tiny craft had to weave through them with precision. One mistake, one wrong calculation, and they would be crushed instantly. Derek, crouched over the engineering panel, muttered under his breath. "We're barely holding together. One hit from those aliens and it's over." One, he stopped as a warning light blinked red. The energy shield had flickered and almost collapsed. "Don't talk like that." Lyra snapped, focusing entirely on the controls. The ship twisted and spun between asteroids. A beam of green energy from an alien scout ship cut past, narrowly missing the hull. Sparks flew and the ship rocked violently. Jalen stared at the radar. "They're trying to herd us into an open space. Don't let them. Stick to the asteroids. Keep moving." The crew worked like a single organism, each action synchronized. Lyra dodged a massive rock that drifted into their path. Derek diverted power to the shields just in time to block a laser beam that would have torn a hole through the hull. Captain Aaron monitored the sensors, calling out every possible danger. Despite the fear, a spark of hope flickered. The unknown signal that had appeared earlier pulsed again, guiding them through the asteroid field. It seemed almost alive, as if it was helping them. The humans couldn't understand it, but they trusted it. Then chaos struck. An asteroid, larger than any before, suddenly shifted its path. The human ship collided lightly, shaking violently. Alarms screamed as panels flew loose. Derek shouted, "Hull breach on the lower deck. We need repairs now." Lyra gritted her teeth. "I can't stop now. If we slow down, they'll catch us." She twisted the controls, narrowly dodging the massive rock. Sparks flew across the bridge, but they continued through the field. The alien scouts were relentless. They fired again and again, trying to hit the human ship. One beam struck the hull, and a part of the ship's side panel crumbled. The crew held their breath as smoke filled the corridor. Captain Aaron barked orders. "Seal the compartments. Keep the engines running. Use every system we have." Despite their efforts, the humans knew their luck couldn't last forever. The main alien fleet was closing in, and the asteroid field could only slow them for so long. Every turn, every dodge was a gamble. One wrong move and they would be history. Suddenly, the unknown signal pulsed brighter, almost urgently. Lyra leaned closer, eyes wide. "It's pointing us somewhere. Like it wants us to follow." Jalen studied the radar. "It might be a trap, or it might be our only chance. We don't have time to decide. Follow it." The human ship changed course, weaving through tighter spaces, following the blue signal. The aliens noticed immediately and adjusted their attack. One massive alien cruiser charged its weapons, preparing to fire a devastating beam. "Hold on," Lyra shouted, twisting the ship in impossible angles. The engines roared. Sparks flew. The hull groaned. One wrong turn and the beam would strike. Time seemed to stretch. The humans moved as if the universe had slowed. The alien beam fired, a green column of deadly energy. Lyra twisted the controls at the last moment. The beam struck a nearby asteroid instead, shattering it into pieces. Small rocks and debris flew around, giving the human ship a narrow escape. The crew exhaled in relief for a moment, but the tension didn't leave. They were still trapped between the asteroid field and a fleet that outnumbered them 100-1. Every second was a fight for survival. Derek wiped sweat from his forehead. "This ship, it's barely holding. We're pushing it too far." Captain Aaron looked at the others, his face grim but determined. "We have no choice. Humans survive because we take risks. We survive because we don't give up. Keep moving. Trust the signal. Trust each other." The human ship moved forward, weaving through the asteroid field, following the mysterious blue signal. The alien fleet pursued, but their massive size made it hard to maneuver among the rocks. The humans' small size, courage, and ingenuity gave them an edge the aliens hadn't expected. In the darkness of space, a tiny human ship darted like a spark, dodging death at every turn. The alien fleet was powerful, deadly, and relentless. Yet the humans were still alive. Against all odds, they moved forward, guided by something they couldn't understand, ready to face whatever came next. And in that moment, the crew realized one thing. Humans might be weak in the eyes of the galaxy, but they had something aliens didn't: heart, courage, and the will to survive. The unknown signal pulsed brighter as if responding to their determination. And the human ship, small, battered, and fragile, seemed to gather strength from it. The battle was far from over, but for now, the humans had survived another impossible challenge. The human ship raced through the asteroid field, guided by the mysterious blue signal. Its engines screamed, metal groaning under pressure. Every turn was a gamble. Every second counted. Outside, the massive alien fleet struggled to follow, their large cruisers clumsy among the drifting rocks. Lyra's hands moved quickly over the controls, eyes darting between the radar and the view ahead. "We're almost through the tight cluster," she said, voice steady despite the tension. "Just a few more obstacles." Derek, crouched over the engineering panel, tightened wires and rerouted power. "We're at full capacity. One more hit and we could lose shields, engines, everything." Commander Jalen leaned over the console, scanning the approaching alien ships. "We can't fight them directly," he muttered. "They'll tear us apart. But maybe, just maybe, the asteroid field can work to our advantage." The human ship ducked behind a massive rock, hiding from the sensors of a pursuing scout. Lyra held her breath as a green laser beam passed harmlessly over them, striking the asteroid instead. The rock trembled and cracked under the impact, but the humans survived. Suddenly, an idea sparked in Jalen's mind. "Derek, prepare the auxiliary energy cannons. Lyra, follow my lead." The ship twisted and spun through the field. The aliens, confident and arrogant, assumed the humans were running blindly. But Jalen's plan was simple: turn their weakness into strength. The human ship was small and fast. They could use the asteroids as natural weapons. Lyra nodded, trusting the commander's judgment. "Ready," she said. The first alien scout ship closed in, firing relentlessly. Lyra maneuvered the human ship, weaving between rocks. Jalen pressed a series of buttons, and a controlled pulse from the energy cannons targeted a nearby asteroid. The rock jolted slightly, rolling toward the alien scout. The asteroid struck the scout ship, sending it spinning uncontrollably. Explosions lit the darkness as the alien ship collided with another smaller asteroid, tearing a huge hole in its hull. The humans allowed themselves a brief smile. One down. But the victory was short-lived. More scouts approached and a larger cruiser advanced, its weapons charged. The human ship shuddered as lasers struck nearby asteroids, sending debris flying dangerously close. Lyra's hands moved with precise speed. "We can't outrun them forever," she shouted. "We need another plan." Jalen studied the radar, eyes narrowing. "The signal is leading us to a narrow passage," he said. "It's risky, but if we make it through, the main fleet can't follow easily. Prepare for full thrust." Derek rerouted power from non-essential systems to engines and shields. Sparks flew as circuits overloaded, but the ship roared forward. The human ship shot through the narrow corridor, dodging massive rocks on all sides. Laser beams from alien ships scorched the space around them, but none hit. One alien ship tried to corner them, but Lyra executed a sudden spin. The ship twisted so sharply that the alien cruiser miscalculated, colliding with a smaller asteroid. A massive explosion lit the void. The human crew gasped, but relief was brief. They knew more danger awaited. Jalen's mind raced. "Keep following the signal. Trust it. We're not just running, we're turning this chase into our battlefield." The human strategy was simple yet brilliant. They used the environment, the asteroids, the tight spaces, and their small size, to outsmart a vastly superior enemy. The alien fleet was powerful but predictable. Humans were unpredictable, adaptive, and relentless. As the human ship dodged another laser barrage, the signal pulsed brighter. It seemed almost alive, as if guiding them to a place of safety, or at least advantage. Lyra's hands trembled slightly but never faltered. Derek gritted his teeth, sweat dripping down his face as he held the power systems together. Then, in a sudden, daring move, Jalen ordered the ship to veer sharply. An asteroid, larger than any they had faced before, hovered near the path of a massive alien cruiser. Lyra twisted the ship around it at full speed, narrowly avoiding collision. The cruiser, unable to maneuver as quickly, rammed the asteroid. The explosion was massive. Debris flew in every direction, taking out two smaller alien ships nearby. The humans watched, stunned but elated. They had destroyed 3 ships using only the environment and their wits. Captain Aaron's voice came over the intercom. "Well done, team. That's the first real strike against them. But don't celebrate yet. The main fleet is still ahead." The humans had won a small victory, but the war was far from over. Their ship was battered, shields weakening, and the engines straining. Every member of the crew felt the exhaustion, but also a new surge of determination. They had proven something, not to the aliens yet but to themselves. Lyra leaned back in her seat, breathing heavily. "We're alive, we actually survived that." Jalen nodded. "Surviving is not enough. We have to keep fighting, keep moving, and trust that signal. It might be the key to turning the tide." The human ship moved forward, battered but unbeaten. The alien fleet was still out there, massive and deadly, but the humans had shown that size and power were not the only factors in battle. Courage, ingenuity, and teamwork could be just as deadly. And in the darkness of space, the tiny human ship seemed to glow with new confidence. Against impossible odds, they had taken the first real step toward changing everything. The galaxy still called humans weak. But with each daring move, each clever maneuver, that perception was about to be challenged. The tiny human ship drifted cautiously beyond the asteroid field. Smoke and sparks still trailed from its battered hull, evidence of the relentless chase and narrow escapes. The crew was exhausted, muscles tense, hearts still racing from the first real clash with the alien scouts. Yet, amid the tension, a new sense of curiosity and hope began to bloom. Lyra adjusted the controls, keeping the ship steady as it followed the pulsing blue signal. "Commander," she said softly, "the signal, it's stronger now. Almost like it wants us to follow it somewhere." Jalen leaned over the radar console, eyes narrowing at the readings. "Strange," he muttered. "It's not like anything we've ever seen before. This isn't just a signal, it's guiding us. And whatever is at the end, it might change everything." The ship moved closer to the source. Ahead, a massive object appeared from the darkness of space. At first, it looked like a floating mountain, a huge, metallic structure, covered in strange markings and glowing faintly with an eerie blue light. Debris floated around it, remnants of ancient ships, some human, some alien. Derek whistled quietly. "What is that?" "It looks ancient. Like it's been here for centuries." Captain Aaron's voice came over the intercom, calm but firm. "Everyone stay alert. We don't know what we're walking into, or flying into. But this, whatever it is, humans might have had a hand in creating it. Or, someone did. And it could be powerful." The human ship approached slowly, careful not to trigger any hidden traps. Sensors scanned the structure. It was massive, unlike anything the humans had ever built, or even imagined. Strange energy readings pulsed from deep within, matching the rhythm of the blue signal guiding them. Lyra's eyes widened. "Commander, I think it's some kind of weapon. Or maybe, a ship." Jalen's mind raced. A weapon, ancient human technology? Could it be the legendary prototypes the old stories spoke of? The ones we abandoned centuries ago? Derek leaned over the console, scanning the energy readings. "It's powerful, more than anything we currently have. But it's also unstable. One wrong move and we could destroy ourselves along with it." The crew exchanged tense glances. Fear and hope battled in their eyes. They were outnumbered, their ship was weak, and yet here lay a chance. A chance to strike back at the alien fleet in a way they never could before. "Prepare for boarding," Jalen said finally. "We need to find out exactly what this is. If it's human technology, we can use it. If it's alien, we'll have to be very careful. But this could be the key to survival." Lyra maneuvered the ship closer to a docking bay at the base of the massive structure. The airlock opened with a hiss, and the crew floated inside the eerie, glowing corridors. Strange glyphs and symbols lined the walls, some resembling ancient human script, others completely alien. Derek ran his hands over the panels. "This is incredible. Someone built this a long time ago. And they left it untouched, hidden, until now." As they moved deeper, they reached a central chamber. There, suspended in the middle of the room, was a massive device. Humans could only describe it as a weapon, but it looked alive. Strange energy arcs danced across its surface, and the pulsing blue light from the signal seemed to resonate with it, as if it recognized the human crew. Jalen stepped forward, awestruck. This is what our legend spoke of. The protocore. If we can activate it, we could stand a chance against the alien fleet. One human ship, armed with this, could change the tide of war. Derek's hands shook as he approached the control panel. It's complex, but I think I can interface with it. If I can synchronize with the signal, maybe we can bring it online. Lyra stared at the massive device, heart pounding. And if we fail? Jalen looked at his crew, eyes firm. We don't fail. Humans survive because we take risks, because we fight when no one else will. This is our moment, and we're taking it. As Derek began the delicate process of interfacing with the proto-core, the room hummed with energy. Sparks of blue light danced across the walls. The device came alive, responding to human touch and ingenuity. Slowly, steadily, power flowed through it, stabilizing the structure. The blue signal pulsed faster, almost urgently, like it was cheering them on. And in that moment, the humans realized something extraordinary. This ancient technology had been waiting for them, not just to survive but to prove that humanity was never weak. Outside, distant lights flickered. Ships from the alien fleet were still moving in the void, unaware that a hidden power had awakened. The humans were no longer just a small, fragile ship. With the proto-core activated, they now had a weapon capable of turning the odds in their favor. The crew took a deep breath. They were tired, scared, and battered. Yet a fire burned in their hearts. Humans had been called weak for centuries, dismissed by the galaxy's greatest powers. But in this forgotten chamber, among ancient technology, they had found a spark, a chance to fight back and change everything. The next move would be dangerous. The alien fleet still outnumbered them. But now, armed with knowledge, courage, and an ancient weapon, the humans were ready to step into a battle no one had ever expected. And for the first time in the deep darkness of space, the human crew felt hope, not just for survival but for victory. The human ship floated silently inside the massive chamber, its engines humming softly. The proto-core, the ancient human technology they had discovered, pulsed with bright blue energy. Sparks of light danced across the walls as the device came alive. Every human on the ship felt the weight of the moment. This was no longer just a small ship fighting for survival, it was a chance to strike back against the alien fleet that had hunted them relentlessly. Derek's hands flew over the control panels, syncing the human ship with the proto-core. Almost there, he muttered, sweat dripping down his face. The air was tense, heavy with anticipation. One wrong move and the device could overload, destroying them all. Lyra gripped the controls, her fingers trembling. Commander, are you sure we're ready? This thing, it's powerful, more than we've ever seen. Jalen nodded, eyes firm. We have no choice. The alien fleet is closing in. This is our only chance. Humans survive because we take risks. Now is the time. With a final adjustment, Derek activated the proto-core. A surge of energy filled the ship. Blue arcs of electricity shot through the hull, stabilizing in a pattern that resembled a heartbeat. The device had responded perfectly. They were ready. Lyra, engage stealth mode and head to the outer edge of the asteroid field. We strike from there, Jalen ordered. The tiny human ship, now glowing faintly with the energy of the proto-core, moved like a shadow through the asteroid field. The alien fleet, massive and confident, had no idea what was coming. They saw only a small, battered human ship, still weak in their eyes. Lyra's hands flew over the controls, dodging asteroids and weaving through narrow spaces. The proto-core hummed softly, synchronized with the ship's systems. Every turn, every maneuver felt like dancing on the edge of a knife. Then they were ready. Jalen pressed a series of buttons on the proto-core interface. The device unleashed a pulse of energy, faster and sharper than anything humans had ever built. A bright blue beam shot from the ship, striking the nearest alien scout. The ship exploded in a ball of fire, sending debris flying in all directions. Derek let out a low whistle. It works, it really works. But the alien fleet responded immediately. Beams of green energy fired toward the human ship. Lyra twisted the controls, dodging with incredible speed. The proto-core shield flared to life, absorbing hits that would have destroyed the ship moments ago. Jalen smiled grimly. Keep moving. Use the asteroids. Use the core. Make them regret underestimating humans. The humans moved like a storm. They fired the proto-core in controlled bursts, striking one alien ship after another. Each strike was precise, using the asteroids as cover and advantage. The alien fleet had never seen anything like this. Their massive ships, once symbols of invincibility, were falling to a single human ship and an ancient weapon. Lyra let out a shout as another alien cruiser exploded. We're actually doing it. Look at them. The crew felt a surge of hope. For the first time they weren't just running for survival, they were fighting back. Human ingenuity, courage, and teamwork were proving stronger than alien technology and arrogance. Derek's hands flew over the panels again. We can take more. The core can handle it. Just follow my lead. Jalen's eyes scanned the radar. The alien command ship, massive and heavily armed, was moving closer. This was the real challenge. The human small ship couldn't fight it head-on. But with the proto-core they had a chance. Lyra, aim for the engines of the command ship. Hit them hard but don't get too close. Use the core's pulse to disable it. Lyra's fingers flew over the controls. The ship twisted, darting between laser beams. The proto-core pulsed once, twice, then released a massive surge. The energy hit the alien command ship, and the massive engine sputtered. Smoke and sparks erupted across its hull. Direct hit. Jalen shouted. They didn't see it coming? The smaller alien ships faltered, confused and disorganized. The human ship moved with deadly precision, striking again and again. Each pulse of the proto-core tore through alien armor, sending them spinning into asteroids or exploding into fireballs. Captain Aaron's voice came over the intercom, steady and proud. Humans are not weak. Never have been. Never will be. Keep striking. The alien fleet scrambled, desperately trying to regroup. But the humans were relentless. Their small, battered ship, armed with ancient human ingenuity, was now the nightmare of the galaxy's most powerful fleet. For the first time the humans felt it, not fear but power. They had turned the tide even if only slightly. Their ship had survived impossible odds, and now they were showing the galaxy that humans could fight back. Lyra exhaled, a smile spreading across her face. We're doing it, we're actually winning. Jalen's eyes scanned the chaos of exploding alien ships. Winning is only the start. We have to survive what comes next. But one thing is clear, the galaxy will never call humans weak again. The tiny human ship, glowing with blue energy and pulsing with the proto-core, moved forward, unstoppable, confident, and alive. Against impossible odds, humans had struck back, and the universe would remember this day. The human ship floated just outside the asteroid field, glowing faintly with the energy of the proto-core. Outside, the full alien fleet had gathered, massive cruisers, hundreds of smaller scouts, and the enormous command ship that had almost destroyed them before. The fleet moved in perfect formation, deadly and unyielding. The humans' hearts raced. This was the real fight. There was no running this time. Lyra gripped the controls tightly. Commander, they're everywhere. We can't outrun all of them. Jalen's eyes narrowed. We don't have to outrun them. We have to outthink them. Humans survive because we're unpredictable. Use the core wisely and every move will count. Derek's hands flew over the panels, keeping the core stable. Sparks and warning lights filled the control room, but the energy pulse of the proto-core hummed steadily. We're ready, just follow my lead, he said, sweat dripping from his forehead. The alien fleet fired first. Green laser beams cut through space, striking asteroids and sending debris flying dangerously close to the human ship. Lyra twisted the controls, dodging with incredible precision. The proto-core shield flared, absorbing beams that would have destroyed the ship in an instant. Focus fire on their engines, Jalen shouted. If we disable their movement, we can turn their strength against them. Lyra maneuvered the ship between massive asteroids, weaving like a shadow through the chaos. Jalen guided her, analyzing the positions of enemy ships. Every twist, every turn was calculated to maximize the proto-core's destructive power while minimizing risk. The first alien cruiser came too close. Derek activated a pulse from the proto-core. A surge of energy shot out, striking the ship's engines. Sparks and fire erupted. The cruiser spun out of control, colliding with smaller ships nearby. The fleet began to falter. Lyra let out a shout. We did it. One down and they're falling into chaos. But the aliens were not easily defeated. The command ship fired a massive green beam at the human ship. Lyra twisted sharply, narrowly avoiding the blast. The proto-core shield flared, but the hull groaned under the strain. Jalen made a split-second decision. We can't just survive. Strike the command ship directly. Use the core's full power. Aim for the engines and weapons systems. Derek's hands moved faster, redirecting energy to the core. Sparks flew. The hum of power grew louder, filling the ship with a vibrating energy that seemed alive. The human ship darted forward, dodging beams and debris. Lyra's hands were steady but her heart raced. The core pulsed brighter, synchronized with the crew's determination. Then, with a blinding surge, the proto-core released a massive energy blast, striking the command ship squarely. The alien ship shuddered violently. Engines failed, weapon systems overloaded. Smoke and fire erupted across its hull. The smaller alien ships faltered, confused and disorganized. The humans had turned the tide. Jalen didn't relax. Keep moving. Don't stop now. Hit every ship we can. The crew worked like a single entity. Lyra twisted the controls, weaving between asteroids. Derek unleashed controlled pulses from the core, targeting enemy engines and weapons. Captain Aaron monitored the battlefield, calling out positions and threats. The alien fleet tried to regroup, but the humans' speed, precision, and the protocore's power were unmatched. One by one, cruisers were disabled, scouts exploded, and the command ship's crew panicked. The humans were tiny, but their cleverness and courage made them a force the aliens had never expected. Almost there, Jalen muttered, eyes on the command ship. Just one more strike, full power. Lyra pushed the ship to its limits. The core pulsed brighter than ever, blue energy arcs dancing across the hull. Then, with a final, controlled surge, the command ship's engines and weapons exploded in a massive fireball. The fleet faltered completely, retreating in disarray. The human ship floated in the void, battered but unbeaten. Sparks and smoke trailed behind it, but the crew was alive. For the first time they had faced the full alien fleet, and survived. Lyra exhaled, trembling with relief and exhilaration. We did it. We actually survived. Jalen looked around at his crew, pride shining in his eyes. We didn't just survive. We showed them who humans really are. The galaxy has called us weak for too long. Not anymore. Derek wiped his hands on his uniform, still in shock. We turned the impossible into reality. The core, it saved us, but we did this together. Captain Aaron's voice came over the intercom, steady and proud. Humans survive because we fight when no one else will. We survive because we think, adapt, and refuse to give up. Today the galaxy saw our strength. Outside, the alien fleet scattered, retreating into the darkness of space. Their ships were damaged, their morale shattered. The humans had won not just by firepower, but by strategy, courage, and the will to survive against impossible odds. The tiny human ship, glowing faintly with the energy of the proto-core, drifted through the void. Against overwhelming force, humans had turned a desperate situation into victory. The galaxy would remember this day. Humans were no longer weak. And in the silence of space, amid drifting debris and distant stars, the crew felt it in their hearts. They had changed everything. The battlefield was silent. The human ship floated through the darkness of space, its hull scarred and battered, but alive. Sparks of blue energy from the proto-core still flickered across the walls, illuminating the tired yet proud faces of the crew. The alien fleet had retreated, scattering into the void, their massive ships damaged, their morale broken. Humans had survived the impossible. Lyra leaned back in her chair, exhaustion washing over her. Her hands were still shaking from the adrenaline, but a smile spread across her face. We actually did it. Against all odds, we won. Derek wiped sweat and grime from his face, staring at the glowing core. This is incredible. The proto-core, it really worked. I never thought we'd see the day humans could stand against them like this. Jalen stood at the bridge, looking out at the distant stars. His mind replayed every moment of the battle, the narrow escapes, the first strike, the final surge of the core. He felt a rush of pride and awe. Humans survive because we refuse to be weak. We survive because we adapt, we think, and we never give up. The galaxy, they'll never underestimate us again. Captain Aaron's voice came over the intercom, calm and full of authority. The alien fleet will carry this story back to their worlds. They will remember the courage, skill, and intelligence of humans. They called us weak, but today we proved them wrong. The crew allowed themselves a moment to breathe. They were battered, bruised, and tired, but alive, and victorious. The human ship, small and seemingly fragile, had defeated a fleet that was considered unstoppable. Every scar, every spark, every tremor in the hull was a testament to human courage and ingenuity. Lyra finally spoke, her voice quiet but full of wonder. Do you think the rest of the galaxy will believe it? That humans aren't weak? Jalen smiled. They will. Word travels fast in space. But more than that, we know the truth. Humans aren't weak. We've survived when no one thought we could. And we've won when everyone assumed we'd fail. That's who we are. Derek moved closer to the core, inspecting it carefully. It's still pulsing, still alive. It's like it knows we used it well. I wonder what else it can do. We've only just begun to understand it. Captain Aaron looked at the stars ahead, voice calm but proud. Humans survive because we dare to do what others can't. Today was not just survival, it was proof. Proof that even the smallest, weakest-seeming beings can change the course of the galaxy. Outside, distant stars shone silently, indifferent to the chaos that had just unfolded. But within those stars, rumors would spread. Stories of a tiny human ship, armed with courage, intelligence, and ancient technology, defeating an overwhelming alien fleet. The galaxy would remember this day, and humans would never again be called weak. Jalen turned to his crew, pride shining in his eyes. Rest for now. Tomorrow the galaxy will know our strength. And after that, who knows what challenges await. But one thing is certain, humans will be ready. Always. Lyra adjusted the controls, guiding the ship gently through the debris field. Sparks from distant explosions still lit up the darkness, and for a moment, the universe seemed alive with possibility. The crew felt it, hope, courage, and a sense of destiny. Derek's voice broke the quiet. We've survived, we've fought, and we've won. But I have a feeling, this is only the beginning. The human ship drifted forward, battered but victorious, through the endless void. The proto-core pulsed softly, a heartbeat of power and potential. Humans had faced the impossible, survived against overwhelming odds, and proved to the galaxy that weakness was a lie. And somewhere deep in the uncharted reaches of space, a new signal pulsed faintly, hinting at greater challenges ahead. But the humans were ready. Courage, ingenuity, and unity were theirs, and nothing could break that. The galaxy had called humans weak. But now the universe would remember their name.